Hey everybody, I'm going to help you guys out today with this lecture. We're going to talk about hunger. Big things you should take out of this are the psychological factors that produce hunger, the physiological factors, common eating disorders, and what makes people become obese and then stay obese. The physiology of hunger, so why do you physically get hungry, is really a couple of things. First and foremost, some guy swallowed a balloon to measure if like our stomach growling actually made us hungry, and it turns out it does. So what he did was he clicked a button, which you can see right there, every time his felt a stomach rumble, and it turns out his stomach was actually contracting during that time. Um, this helps to show that there is a physical reason why we feel hunger. Another example was done with somebody who studied rat stomachs and people's stomachs who had had their large intestines removed, and so their esophagus went down into their small intestine, so skipping the entire stomach contraction process. And what they found was people still got hungry, so people still ate. This is mainly because of glucose levels in the blood. So, what does that mean? So, that means that your stomach and your liver are sending messages up to the hypothalamus in your brain. Um, the lateral hypothalamus um, makes it so that way you eat. So, when you are short on glucose or sugar in your blood, it will make you want to eat. If you have this part of your brain destroyed, you will literally starve to death. The example that I use for this is that when I took Adderall, Adderall is an appetite suppressant. And what it will do is, I can remember very vividly taking Adderall and then like having to force myself to eat half of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and choke it down, even though I wasn't hungry, but I knew I should eat something. And that's what happens to people who have their lateral hypothalamus destroyed. The ventromedial hypothalamus, so the kind of pink jelly bean looking thing on our slide, um, what it does is it turns off our desire to eat. So what happens is your brain sends new messages, gets new messages from your stomach and your liver, and it says like, okay, that's enough food. And so like if you've ever been really hungry before, what you found is that you'll eat a ton and then keep eating, keep eating, keep eating, keep eating, and then you'll feel terrible. Whereas if you eat, stop for 10 minutes, let your body catch up, it can actually send time, make time for the messages to catch all the way up to your brain. By the way, this is my favorite picture in the entire book, a very fat rat. Um, Everybody has a set point in their body, a point where their body wants to be. So for me, when I graduated high school, I weighed 172. When I last went to the doctor, I weighed 178. So that was a long time ago, and I haven't changed that much. I am obviously genetically very gifted, but when I was at Creighton, I took in about 6,000 calories a day to try and gain weight. And I mean, I ate constantly and felt like I was going to die. But the result was that I got up to 180. Um, I quit eating like that for about 2 weeks during the summer just to give my body a break. And I lost everything in those 2 weeks. Memory also plays an important part of our hunger. So they've done studies on people with amnesia, and what they've found is that um, if somebody can't remember the last time they ate, they will literally eat nonstop. So, like, if you're like, hey, it's been a long time since you've eaten, do you want a sandwich? They will sit there and eat sandwich after sandwich after sandwich and get to the point where they're vomiting and they won't understand why they vomited. So, your memory definitely plays a role in, like, psychologically in why we eat. Also, an important part of hunger is your culture. So the picture down here is of some Eskimos eating whale blubber, which we would find disgusting. They think it's a treat. So your culture decides what you're hungry for. For example, the hotter you are like physically like in the temperature of where you live, the more spicy your food is, which explains why my grandma made the most bland food ever because she was from northern Germany. Eating disorders are fairly complex. You guys are going to see my sister speak here in a moment, but anorexia is the most common of these. It is where there is physically something that makes people that suffer from anorexia think that their body is not good, that there is a problem with them, and they must eat. And must not eat, excuse me. They refuse to eat or will eat very sparingly. Um, it's difficult to pin down in people because they often slide into it. They don't all of a sudden one day decide not to eat. What also can be paired with anorexia is bulimia. Bulimia can be a few different things, but what happens is it's even more difficult to find than somebody with anorexia because people with bulimia eat regularly. The problem is that they force themselves to vomit or they take laxatives and puke. Well, what my sister did was she was anorexic and bulimic, but she was an exercise bulimic. So she did not make herself throw up or puke. She would literally go like work out for 2 hours at 6 o'clock in the morning, then work out again for a couple hours in the afternoon, and then take like a 2 hour walk at night. So bulimia is a way to purge the calories out of your system. So to you and I, it looks like they're eating normally, but the result is that they are actually really not taking in what they should. There's a few reasons why somebody could have an eating disorder. Sexual abuse as a child is a common one. Family, um, typically where weight is an excessive concern. So like my dad was very, very into me gaining weight because apparently he thought that the only thing that was keeping me from being a good baseball player was weight, when truly it was talent. So my sister developed an eating disorder off of that. The other thing is genetics. So like some people are predisposed to it, and they can see that through studies of twins. Obesity is very common inside of the United States. The number of people inside the United States that are obese is continually growing. And part of the reason for that is like evolutionarily speaking, fat is awesome. It is a awesome long-term energy storage facility. And actually, it used to be if you were a little bit fat, it was a sign of affluence. It showed that you were rich. You guys are well aware that, however, extreme obesity can lead to a shortened lifespan. Um, what you may not be aware of, though, is in the United States, you are more likely to be discriminated against for being obese than you are for being black or like by your race. So why is it that people that become obese stay obese? And the reason why is because you have a certain number of fat cells in your body. When they grow, when you become obese, they actually need to end up splitting. So you end up with more fat cells. If you shrink those fat cells down by losing weight, you will always still have all of those fat cells. And so they are quick to absorb back up and grow again. On top of that, your metabolism defends fat. So if you start trying to diet, and normally what we do is we decrease our calorie intake, your body pumps the brakes and says, whoa, like we're starving, and it will start burning your muscles before it starts burning fat. So an important part of losing weight is actually not too drastically decreasing your calories, but instead taking in better calories and exercising more. Genetic factors also play a huge part in why people become obese. So you can see this is an obese mouse on the left that has a defective gene. If you give that mouse just a little bit of the gene, not the gene, the hormone that we need in order to turn off our hypothalamus, it will shed weight very, very quickly. A lot of people are very motivated to lose weight, and so what they do is they try out all of these different diets, like the Atkins diet. They are effective. You will lose weight on most of these diets. However, the problem is that they're not sustainable. So as soon as you quit doing the diet, you will literally put all of the weight right back on. A much better plan is to find something, a healthy lifestyle, exercise, do what you can to stay on that plan. Forgive yourself if you slip up. That's the important thing when you're actually trying to lose weight is to change your lifestyle, not to just do some random diet and hope for the best. That's why Weight Watchers is so popular and has been around so long. Good luck, you guys, with your pamphlet. See you soon.